Hey everyone, Pablo here and welcome to another in-depth review. Today I'm honoured, I've got the pleasure to review The Eye of the World. I know, it's exciting. I can't barely contain myself. The problem is that this book sucks. It's awful. It's fucking terrible. I'm obviously joking. I'm going to preface this review with a thought that I had, which is about gatekeeping and about how fandoms work sometimes. One of the reasons why I was a bit reluctant to cover my, Wheel of Time journey on BookTube is that I was a bit scared of how the community would react, because it is a fact that in fantasy and in science fiction and in video games, sort of in the nerdy world, there is a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of you are not a fan because you weren't there when it was released. I've been a fan of the Wheel of Time for 20 years. I am very, very happy to have discovered that that's not the case, and the Wheel of Time community, the Twitter of Time on Twitter and on YouTube, the whole community is so welcoming, and that has been such a bless. It's so supportive when one of the most things, or the things that get most interaction and most engagement out there in social media is the Wheel of Time. So thank you, Wheel of Time community, you are amazing. Why did you take that bloody dagger, Matt? Just why? That is my introduction for character. I love the breadth of characters that we get in The Eye of the World. I love that there's different POVs, so many different POVs, I can't even remember how many. This is epic fantasy at its best. We've got Nynaeve and we've got Moiraine. And do we get a POV from Moiraine? We do get a POV from Moiraine, from Lon. We get so many different POVs that I lose track of it. That you can really see the prowess of Jordan's abilities and Jordan's literary abilities and writing abilities, because the characters, despite all of them being different and having so many, all of them feel unique. All of them have a very clear personality, and it's not to the point that I know things are very memeable, and nowadays everything is a meme, but things like Matt, Matt, why did you take that dagger? It has its explanations and you get to explore why, and there's hints as to this information might be a bit nebulous and a bit vague at the moment, but obviously there's an implication, and there's a tacit agreement in a book and readers and writers that at some point important things will be revealed. Maybe not all of them, but a big chunk of it will be revealed at some point. My favorite character is actually Lon. He is my favorite character. I think there's that mystery, the two towers, the white towers. Oh my goodness, the place in the Blight that he's from, and that whole section of the book was probably my favorite part of the book, because that there's a payoff as to like the story of him and being a lord and being a successor of the kingdom, and relinquishing that and running away, and the whole thing. That passage of the book was so good. Probably because, well, this was my favorite character. Nynaeve is incredibly combative, but that is her beauty is that the way that she and at the beginning you when you start the story, when you start the book, you don't think that she's going to have a big role, and then she appears in, what is it, in Barlian? I think it was Barlian. If she appears and he's like, whoa, okay, that's cool. Talking about plot, yes, you do get to see a lot of things that will happen. There's a lot of promises, there's a lot of these people are like part of something grander. They are, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it's got a name. It's got a name in the mythos of the book, and how the weaving of the fabric of time is crinkled because of them. You get to see the epicness and the scope of the story, but the thing is, and this is a point of contention, and it's not that I'm trying to find criticisms in a book, but at points it felt a bit rambly.
How dare you!
A bit, what is happening? The pacing was perhaps not the best. I understand that someone that likes fantasy, and that someone that knows where the story is going, and how epic fantasy sometimes can be a bit, there's a steep learning curve, might be a bit more lenient and a bit more understanding of this sort of long, protracted story that doesn't seem to be getting nowhere. Doesn't seem to be getting nowhere is a double negative, and I know better than that. I formally apologize. I'm so sorry. But if I gave the eye of the world to someone that is starting in fantasy, so my criticism is, and I know that it's mild, this book is still incredible, and I understand why it's a foundational pillar of modern fantasy. Calm down. But it drags a bit. If I were to describe the plot of this, it's impossible to isolate the plot of this book to someone. It's called The Eye of the World because at the end, the Eye of the World plays a very big part in what's to come. Probably in the context of the whole story, if I go back and read this book, a lot of things will make sense, but yeah. That's what I have to say with plot and pacing. Perhaps not the greatest in an isolated sense. Remember, I've only read this one. Worldbuilding. Well, do I really have to say anything about the worldbuilding? This world feels immense. This sprawling, like, with regards to the pacing and the plot, like this book, like they take ages to get to places, and then when you look at the map, it's like this world feels immense. It feels enormous, and it plays into this sense of epic fantasy. So many different nuances to the races, and to the places that they are, the cities, the taverns. It feels impeccable world building, and there's nothing that I'm going to say that hasn't been said in the past. I am a big fan of world building, and it blew me away. And I know that it will continue to blow me away, especially considering, because from like being involved in the community, this is technically not a secondary world, this is our world. So I am so excited to keep finding things out. What can I say except you're welcome? You're a genius, Robert. I've mentioned this before on Twitter or Discord or anywhere. I've mentioned it in the past, and it's this notion that I feel a bit burnt out from the modern fantasy scene, in the sense that it is amazing what, like, the things we're doing. I really like the direction in which we're taking fantasy, but I was craving something more classical, something that epic fantasy sense. I know I haven't read The Lord of the Rings.
How dare you!
I know I need to get to it, but that's the vibe I was going for. And with the show coming into play, I think this has been just the best choice for me at this point in time. Bring on the Great Hunt. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited to be back and doing reviews and being in the flow of things back again. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more Wheel of Time content. It will be ramped up considerably. I'm going to review the show. I'm going to react to every episode. Yeah. I will see you guys in the next one. scared of what the people would react to, like something that is I can't speak today.